is a no cut zone. Put the city on. They got me in my zone. The streets can't live long, no.
Yeah, it's your boy Big Swill.
It's your girl Mira.
And we kick it at
No Kutt.
You already know,
Yo,
man.
yo.
Man, we got the sensation, man. He was shooting the shooters behind, in front of the camera. Now he behind the camera.
For sure.
Man, the sensation, man. Columbia, man. The man
sure.
behind the man behind the mirror, man. Long time.
Mr. Charles
Big
Mills.
P.A.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Thank y'all for having me.
Already,
Salute.
man.
For
already.
real. For real.
Oh man, it's our pleasure, man. We go all the way back, man. It's been a long time coming, man. So I know you got your shit to talk about today.
Man, listen. Whatever y'all want to know, we can talk about it. Whatever y'all want to
Hey,
know,
this
let's
no
do
cut.
it. No doubt.
Okay.
So let's not even be humble about it. You're a humble dude. I already know you.
No doubt. No doubt.
But it's time to pop that shit today.
Let's do it.
It's time to pop a bag.
Let's do it.
It's time to bust the voices open.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Shoot, let's start off with where he's from.
Man, come on with it.
Well, South Carolina is my home for sure, but I was born in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay.
You know, that's my roots. That's where my family is. But I transplanted here as a young kid. You know what I mean?
Right. So you from South Carolina?
I'm from South Carolina. Period. You know what I mean?
Got that gang cock in your sister.
You already know it. It is what it is.
All right.
Oh yeah.
So, bit how old were you when you moved here?
Well, as a baby, I was an infant. And I went back and forth. I would stay summers and do a couple of years of school in Indianapolis, and then come back and forth. You know what I mean? So I mainly planted here when I was in the 5th grade. Okay. So 5th grade, I stayed here constantly at basically like 5th grade.
All right. So did you always have that mentality to elevate? Because I watch your work. You know what I'm saying? I watch how you progress over the years. I watch how you stay consistent through whatever came your way.
No doubt.
So you know what I'm saying? You came up with I Shoot videos. How long was that before you put that in effect? Was it something else before that?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's basically the way things started out is I always like entertainment. Like when the first time I heard rap, the first time I heard it, I fell in love with it. You know what I'm saying?
Music, baby.
And just trying to imitate what I saw them doing as far as the culture and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I always trying to gravitate towards music and hip hop and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
So
anything
it was a calling to you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
it was in them, not on them.
no doubt. I dealt with the rap stuff for a while. I rapped for a long time.
This something probably. What was your rap name when you started? I know a lot of people don't know that.
All right, so
Don't shake your head. Just say it. Just say it. Don't shake your head.
At that time, I'm gonna give you a quick story to break that down.
The whole Columbia probably don't even know this yet, so y'all take in what's going to be and said.
One night I was in the club, and I used to attend the clubs a lot because at that time I was kind of doing my thing, and I was in the club, and my partners was like, "Yo, it's a dude from I want to say somewhere in Georgia." Okay. And they was like, "Yo, he got a hit song called Kutt Friends, and he in the club tonight." I was
Camouflage.
like, "There you go." I said, "Well, introduce me to my man." So when I walked up to my man, I said, "Yo, what's up, bro? I'm Camouflage. How you doing?" Right. When I shook his hand, he said whatever his real name was. He was like, "I'm Kevin." So whatever his real name, whatever his government. But you got to remember that at the time, man, I'm 6'2". You know what I'm saying? Looking crazy, mouthful of gold,
all that.
Chains on it. So he
and
probably
your name was Camouflage.
And my name was Camouflage. But I met Camouflage.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he was like, he said whatever his name was, I ain't think nothing else of it till like the next day or whatever. And I heard the song on the radio. He was doing a promo tour.
Okay.
When I heard the song on the radio, I said, "Oh, I see why he didn't want to say that."
Right.
But you know what I mean? and shout out to him and his family, and RIP to my man. But that was one of them.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Seaport, man. You know.
Hey, shout out to Camouflage.
For sure. For sure. So honestly,
I think that was respect though.
No doubt. And you know what? Being the type of dude I am, I didn't want to get into all that haterism and all that stuff. I just was like, yo, his name is bigger than mine.
Right.
I could feel how I want to feel.
Right.
But I always felt like if you were the head of something and somebody pushed it way further, I just stepped away and I sat back a little bit and I just kind of went with, as far as a moniker that everybody started calling me is based off pretty much a name, when I was a kid or whatever. So
you had to revamp yourself.
Right.
Yeah, I had to let it go.
Yeah.
Quickly.
But you didn't give up the music.
No, with that, it was a long process, and I don't really want to necessarily go all the way down that road. But I did a lot of writing, so writing for So Def, just a lot of behind the scenes with music. And a lot of times people don't want to hear you go down that road, but it was cool. You know what I mean? I met Big.
But that's the people that really elevate.
Right.
Yeah, I met Mace before.
Scene, you know
a lot of the artists that Jermaine Dupri had at the time, I met a lot of them. I used to go down there with them all the time and kind of hang out or whatever.
Yeah.
Being that I had a different vibe, you got to read between the lines on that. Man, I had a different vibe. I rocked a different kind of way than a lot of them dudes rock, so I stood out. You know what I mean? I can't speak about now, but during that era when if you was a South Carolina boy and you went to Atlanta, you stood out because I'm built like that, and people knew you was built like that. The ladies, trust me, the ladies knew you were built like that.
They know you ain't from there.
You know what I mean?
They know you move different.
We go to the club, we hanging out, and at midnight, them same dudes that was ruggish and thugging, they was totally different when they got them drinks in them. They switched up. You know what I mean? Yeah. I witnessed it myself.
What was one of your first raps that you wrote?
Oh no, we're not going down that road. Listen, we're not going down the road. I can say this. Even right now, my pen's still nice. My son told me to stop because he like, Dad, you too old. It just don't look right coming out of your mouth.
That's how the youngest do you.
So listen.
The youngest do you.
You can never be too old.
You know what?
My kid tell me same thing.
At a certain time, you got to just put it down. Because even you think about your basketball skills. You might can play ball, but you can't run up and down the court with them little young boys. It's just not going.
Man, they supernatural.
Yeah, it's not the same.
You miss a step. Once you miss a step, it's time to get out the game.
Yeah.
If you're not missing a step, keep going.
I still get that Rick ball. I get out there and I get on them youngins' ass. But I be sore as a motherfucker in the morning now.
Mm-hmm. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. When I performed with the baby, all of the girls that were on the stage, all of them were younger than me.
Word.
I'm 33 years old. A lot of them thought I
wasn't even
was
told my age, but go ahead.
Honesty.
Yeah.
Whatever. Who?
Honesty.
Yeah, the youngest.
33.
Okay.
But she in here looking 22.
Okay.
You know
okay.
What I mean?
So I was, I'm up there. I was up there dancing with 22-year-olds. Most of them girls were 22, 23 years old. When the baby came to, all the motherfuckers came on, everybody.
Right.
But yeah, I was like, shit. I thought I was about to come out there and bust that shit. I was like, damn, these bitches just moving fast as hell. Let me catch the fuck up.
Right.
But yeah, like it is different when you start getting older and shit. I know I'm not as old, but you start. It shows.
Oh yeah,
it shows.
No doubt.
Man, you too young. You're young, man. You're a young
I don't care
boy.
what the fuck you saying.
I don't know what
my hip be hurting. Once I hit 30, my hip said clink.
Nigga, you're a young boy. You're a young boy. You still doing handstand, flipping over.
Yeah, you got some more. It's a whole lot of years in front.
Back in the day, he's saying the pen ain't the same. Well, the pen's still nice, but you know what I'm saying. We might get up a little later than the other. You know what I'm saying? Might got to roll over 2 or 3 times for get up. We still gonna bounce that horse.
Put it like this: I write for somebody younger and let them say it.
Right.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well,
a lot of these motherfuckers need some people writing for them because but anyway.
Speaking of writing, man, you got the series Columbia.
You know
what
it.
I'm saying?
You know it.
You had the Moses. You was shooting videos before that.
You know it. No doubt. Basically, to make a long story short, it was a artist that I was representing and kind of like managing, Big Hurt at the time.
Big shout out to Big Hurt.
No doubt.
You still got to bring your motherfucking ass through here, all that goddamn time. I'm on my way and all that. Yeah,
you're supposed to look at the camera when you say that.
I did. I'm pointing that way.
Yeah, you got sideways. You did a side. Grab him by the neck.
You did a side eye.
Because he know who I'm talking to.
That's right.
Yeah.
Make a long story short, I was managing him, and I paid this guy who was killing it and still killing it. Five Deezy.
5 Deezy, big shout out 5 Deezy, bro. Go and slam.
I paid him to shoot the video, and while I was there, I was kind of directing. I wasn't supposed to be doing it, but I was kind of standing beside him like, yo, do it this way or do it that way. Right. And he jokingly was like, yeah, you need to shoot videos yourself, bro.
Yeah.
At the time, I thought he was like really being, inspiring. Funny, but he was like, nah. No, I thought he was being inspiring. He was really being funny.
Oh yeah, he a funny motherfucker.
Like, bro, yeah.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I went and bought the same camera that he had, right? Okay. And I just started doing my thing with Hurt, and I thought I was killing it, you know. So when I started looking at other videos, I was like, wait, man, this thing kind of look homemade a little bit. I don't really like the quality of it. So they came out with this process. Back then it was just HD cameras. Then they came out with this process of using DSLR cameras, which is a camera that looked like it take pictures. Right. You know what I mean? So make a long story short, I bought one of those cameras and it changed the game for me because my videos went from looking homemade to looking like, you know, I ain't gonna say Hype Williams style, but the quality of a major video. Okay. So I was one of the super. I was one of the first ones in the city with that camera, so it kind of pushed me ahead a little bit. So at that time I was charging like $350 a video, which would probably be the equivalent of now maybe $1,000, maybe something like that, maybe $1,100.
Yeah, I think I was getting a video from you then around that time.
Yeah, so I was doing like $350, if maybe $500 at the most, depending on, you know, what we were doing.
What we doing, 3 scenes.
Right. Okay. And at that time, man, I was shooting a video. I'd come out in the morning and stay all night. You know, I was getting drugged, but I was having fun because it was allowing me. It was allowing me to go in the hood and meet people. You know what I mean? Like when I met you, you know what I'm saying, the artist that you was pushing at that time, it's like, I guess my vibe, I rock with them people and I get a pass to go places that other people couldn't go. Right. You know, it's well,
people don't understand that.
Right, no doubt.
They don't understand the pass that you got because of the relationships you build.
No doubt. When you build those relationships, you can go anywhere. So with that, I started doing videos for a few years, and then Herc actually came up with the idea, say, bro, we could shoot a movie. And I was like, bro, nah, I'm good. Right. So he was like, let's go outside. He said this right here in reverse. He said it was me, but I don't remember it that way. He said, come outside and film me. So we did a scene where he was talking to a plug or whatever on the phone.
That was what, the
Trapped Out, right. Yeah. So once we did that scene, I was like, I took it and put it in the editing software. I could tell I'm doing good because I can remember some stuff, but I'll be forgetting everything.
That's a good memory, man.
I put it into the editing.
It's a good memory.
Right, no doubt. The editing software, and when I saw it, I was like, yo, we can do a movie. I believe we can. So we shot it, and at that time I was a lot younger, but I'm the type of person that I try to put everybody on. So that movie was like a movie full of any and everybody that was trying to do something at the time.
Big shout out to the whole cast.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, that's
listen,
dope.
All y'all names, y'all know y'all fucking name, man. There's a lot of names.
I can't name all them people.
Dope.
But from there, it kind of gave me like the key to the city. I'm one of the people that I feel like on the low, I got a key to the city because I can go anywhere, any hood. It don't matter. If they at war, you know what I'm saying, I can go there and
niggas don't choose sides.
Right. And I've never done that. That's one thing that I can say. I don't get, even if it appears that way, because I might be filming or rocking with somebody in the show that you got beef with. Like probably legitimate beef. He slept with your girl. That's legitimate beef in South Carolina.
You know legitimate what I mean?
In South Carolina.
For them.
Right, South Carolina.
Not real ones.
Right.
Because, unless it's a nigga wife.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if it's his wife and you know him, that's different. But
they forgive him for running off with the pack. They forgive him for running off with the pack. They forgive him for robbing them.
Bro, just
but they don't forgive him for sleeping with their girl.
There's a lot of tender ass niggas around here, man.
You know what I'm saying? So,
tender niggas they get the vibes right.
I don't get into those beefs. Like, even if you rock with me, I don't get into them beefs, man. Like, and I know a lot of it can be real because I was a street in the streets.
It's an unnecessary waste of energy.
There you go. You know, and
period.
It ain't no beef that we can't talk out. You know what I mean? People just being macho. So I don't get into that.
It ain't about money.
Right. We've even had situations where if this particular camp, and I'm going to say even sets, this set beefing with this set, but we had to sit down with the big dogs like, yo, y'all want to be in the show and want to advance some of these artists y'all trying to push. Bro, y'all got to kill that. Because, you know, and I did stuff purposely with film, and I would take, if it's two Bloods in this scene, I put a Crip song up under them while they doing their scene. I did it because it shouldn't be any barriers. If everybody's getting money, like they say that's what it is, we not color banging and all that stuff, we trying to get money, then let's get together and put this stuff, all this talent together, because it's too much talent. Right. You know what I'm saying?
But they got to have the brains for it.
No doubt.
Because at the same time, when you implement those situations, when you're coming together and you're showing them a way, it's up to them to take it. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, much as you've been through it, like personally, I don't got time for bullshit. I don't waste so much time in my motherfucking life where I've been building and doing.
Right.
Nigga, if you ain't trying to get a bag, you don't understand that this is the avenue for the bag. We can't do this.
No
like
doubt.
I gotta cut you off. I gotta elevate this way because I got a family feed and I got other people behind me.
No doubt. No doubt.
So I know you got a lot of that.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So when it comes to how we got started, Anthony Porty and OZ LaFleur. OZ at the time, it probably still is. He was one of the biggest antagonists in the city. Like he just always stayed into it with somebody. I mean,
funny. We just had OZ on the show.
He was just here, and he was talking about a whole lot too.
He always kept stuff going. And how I met him, honestly, is it was a group. I didn't know to link 48 and Leesburg and all that stuff together. I didn't know at that time to link.
You didn't call me,
right?
You know you supposed to call me,
right? No doubt. No doubt.
I'm heading.
He wasn't thinking about your ass.
So
but he know the passes.
No doubt, no doubt. So at that time, it was a group. I know it was Black Zach, Trapper. It was a lot of them guys together.
Velo Trapper.
But yeah, no doubt. And forgive me, but they was a group. And DME, no doubt. And they had some choice words for Hurt because Hurt did this, his top 5 or top 10 artists, and they just went in on him. So OZ was kind of like, I knew the other guy. I was shooting videos for him,
right.
So I knew him. So I know it wasn't no smoke with us, none of that, because we was all family to a certain extent. You know what I mean? So OZ was just talking a little too much. And at that time, I was the head of a record label, and I was a different kind of head. So I was like, go get him.
Yeah.
Go get him. Go find him. Go get him. Whatever we got to do to get him in my presence, let's do it. So they went and found him. And the thing that I respected about him is he stood on what he said. He was like, big dog, I said what I said, but the reason why I said because I know you was going to come for me.
Right.
And that was the truth. And when I met him, I look at talent first.
Right.
See, a lot of times people don't understand how I can work with everybody. I look at the talent that you bring. So they trying to figure out how was he beefing with your artist and you don't have smoke with him. I look at the fact that if I snatch him up and he's an antagonist, he can bring some more quality to what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? And bring some more ears and eyes to what I'm doing. So from there, when they came, they were like talking about this comedy that they wanted to shoot. So we started filming the comedy, and for me, I thought it was pretty dope. Like it was dope. The concept of it was they were two guys that was in the hood trying to make it. One of them had a bunch of baby mamas, like maybe 10 baby mamas, and the other guy was trying to like keep him on the straight and narrow. They worked at this pizza shop, right? Mm-hmm. And what they would do is when somebody had extra money, they'll go rob them and try to come up off of them using the pizza scheme.
Okay.
Well, in production, the movie was supposed to be about 4 days, like a Friday type thing, a couple days, but everybody kept changing their appearance. Like, you know what I'm saying? The dude would have a afro, and then he'd go get a temp fade, or he'll go get a fade. And female, we know this supposed to be 4 days, but I done had to shoot 4 scenes of her getting her hair done because she keep changing her hair every 2 days.
Right.
So I just said, you know what, Bump, I can't do it.
Right.
And I just
gracefully.
Right. It wasn't really gracefully.
No.
In my mind, you remember that at a certain kind of time.
Yeah.
I felt
so
like
you got agitated.
I felt like, man, I don't really care what people talking about. So I was like, we done.
Right.
They hit me like, bro, what's going on? I said, bro, we done with that. I'm not wasting my time on that. So I sat back for a couple of days and I hit Amp, who was the main star. I hit him. I was like, bro, I got a concept. We finna go in.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't even care what it is. I'm rocking with you. Whatever you say, we doing it. Yeah. So I said, well, I want to do a show based off some gangster shit. You know what I mean? So he was like, again, I already told you I'm with you. Yeah. So I hit OZ and I told OZ, like, look, I'm about to do this other show, but you won't be the star of it. Now, remember, he came to me with the ideal of the other movie, but when I did this concept, I didn't see him as that star.
Right.
You know what I mean? So as far as that particular situation, now with the team, if you watch Columbia, it's a team of 5 to 6 guys in a circle.
Right.
And I'm gonna keep it 1,000. He didn't want to play runner up. He wanted to be the main guy or the main top 2 guys, or that was it. It wasn't no smoke, and if it is, it's something that he's carrying. He called me and he was like, bro, I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm bowing out. He stepped away. He was like, I don't want to. I came up with the idea. I put things in motion, and I'm not finna play second or third.
I mean, that's not
sometimes OZ, you gotta learn how to understand the opportunity.
Yeah, like if one win, we all win.
Can I tell you something real though? I hear that and I get where y'all coming from, but I respected the fact that he stood on that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He stood on what he don't. He had a standard,
and most people don't do that because most people have been like, yeah, just to ride a wave. He was like, nah, I'm gonna stand on the fact that Paul, I'm not gonna do that.
See, I can respect that he had a vision.
Yeah, because in his mind he had his own vision for what he wanted.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For himself.
I'm a team player. Even though I look at Golden State, everybody think Steph is a superstar, but he's a role player too.
No doubt.
And he knows his role. He handles his roles and do his thing.
No doubt.
He's a role player.
No doubt.
He don't stand on the arrogance of just either leaving the team or bowing out because we don't make it to the playoff.
No doubt.
So
no doubt.
That's just how I look at it. You know
and he keep rebuilding, and you see the position they put him in.
Right. Well, OZ's still moving.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? He came through. You know what I'm saying? I chopped up with him here and there.
And when I rock with you, even with you, like I don't. And everybody different. Right. When I came around you, even our vibing now, I see you kind of like it's family to me.
Right.
That's just how I rock. Yeah. I've always been like that because if I don't fuck with you, then there's no reason for you to even be around me. Or none of that.
No question.
I got a partner of mine one time that said, if you don't bring any value to my life, why would I rock with you? When he said it to me, I didn't like that.
Right.
I felt, because at that time I was at a different point in my life, and I felt like, bro, you looking down on certain people because they can't do nothing for you.
You didn't understand the mentality.
And what he was saying is like, nah, bro, you bring value to my life, so why would I want to do anything else besides be around you?
Right.
In other words, so it's
how long did it take you to realize it?
Man, it took me a minute. You know what I mean? It took me a minute.
Some people never realize it.
Yeah, it took me a minute because coming from everybody got a street store. Right. You know what I mean? Everybody got a street store and what they feel like, made them who they are, whatever. But coming from where I came from, homelessness, you know what I'm saying, shelters and stuff like that, it wasn't a long period of time, but I remember it and I went through that. So when I hear people talk about these street stores, I'm like, bro, you wasn't never homeless. You know what I mean?
Right. You chose it.
You know what I mean? Like my mama was a baby raising me by herself. You know what I mean? In a new city where she had to get it how she got it. Right. I know what it is to try to figure out what powder milk is and try to mix it together so you can, you know what I'm saying, do whatever. I know what a ketchup, mayonnaise, or mustard sandwich is. You know what I mean? Like for real.
Okay.
That's because you come from that.
Right. I'm going to try to go spend the night over my friend's house because his mama always cooking. You know what I mean? So
I've been late a couple times.
You know what I mean?
I definitely can attest.
So when you come from that, and the reason why I switched the show up to a gangster thing is because that's kind of like, it's been my passion. And I can't, and if you're a black male that was raised in any kind of poverty, and when I say poverty, I mean 48. And I don't care if you grew up in a house. Your mom and them weren't rich. They had what they had.
Saxon Homes, Gonzalez Gardens.
If you grew up in
ABC,
if you grew up in poverty, then you know what it's like to see the other people over there shining, and you gonna gravitate towards it. Even with the hood now, because people coming down on everybody because they want to be thugging, and everybody got a pistol. It's not that we glorifying it or that we were trying to glorify that life. It's just, it seemed like a necessity at the time.
Pop that.
You know what I mean? I grew up in the crack era, and I was pro-black, still pro-black, but I grew up in the crack era where it was like, look, I got on some jocks. Jocks was Adidas with four stripes, and I wore my jocks with pride. I you know what I'm saying? I cleaned them things up because that's all I knew. And I grew up in a hood where everybody was posting. Your jocks they was fresh. Yeah. You know what I mean? So when the crack era hit, you in class trying to concentrate on work, but dude sitting next to you with $150 pair of Jordans on. You know what I'm saying? A $300 Jordan suit. This is
Polo.
When I say back in polos, when I say back then, our mortgage, mamas and daddy's mortgage was $200 a month.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you sitting there watching these dudes come to middle school with cars, and it don't take long.
Right.
And you can say what you want to say, but it don't take long for you to watch them. And being the type of person that I was, one thing I can say is a gift from God. I never was envious of nothing.
Right.
When I seen those dudes, I was like, boy, you fresh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Man, I hate that you look like that. Or why you, man? I don't even know what it feel like to hate, bro.
Man,
so to not know how that feel, it helped me push through. So watching them guys when the crack era hit, you know, keeping it 1,000. I was against it, but I kept watching them. I was like, bro, I gotta infiltrate this world. Y'all gotta show me what's up.
Damn right.
The young OG on the block was like, bring me $20. I think I raked the yard. I cut some grass. I got me a $20 bill, and I came back down the street. I said, bro, here you go. He looked at me. He took this thing out of his hand, popped it 2 times, and handed me 2 little situations. And he was like, go sell them and come back.
You had to make it.
I went home.
From that on.
Now listen now. My money gone though.
Yeah.
But $20 was a lot of money. $20 at that time was $100 now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or maybe 110. So I'm looking at these little pieces of nothing.
Right.
And my money gone. So I can't.
Little did you know.
Listen,
You don't know what it.
Yeah. So look here, I went back down the block. I was like, hey, bro, let me holler at you. I said, man, can I get my money back? Because I don't think I can do this.
How far down the block did you get when you really? How
I didn't care. I wanted my $20 back.
Kick in.
I want my $20 back. So when I hit back down there, man, my man said, bro, it don't work like that. He said, boy, this wasn't, once you spend your cash, it's over with. He said, look.
It's over with.
But he told me something that they say in movies, that you hear in movies. He said, bro, it sells itself. All you got to do is advertise.
Yeah.
I was too young to know what he meant. But what he said was, just let them know you got it. That first situation, that car pulled up, and back then it was OGs. Everybody stood on the block. You got to remember, every 5 minutes a car came.
Yeah.
And every 5 minutes somebody was spending $20, $50, $100. These lawyers, doctors, these the best of the best black people in our community pulling up. When they pulled up, dropped that thing in their hand, they gave you that money, and it was like, yo, what's...
Yeah.
I made that $40, went back here. He'll take that. He said, here go 4 of them now. Give me that.
Yeah.
Went back again. He said, okay, here go enough. So what I started realizing was I had a knack for it. And how I knew I had a knack for it is because my beeper started blowing up and everybody else complaining about they wasn't getting no money.
Right.
But I started watching their habits. They was standing on the block.
Yep.
I got me a car and I got me a beeper. So now it's like, look, when you get paid, beat me. I come pick you up from work.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get
the hustle was in them.
I'm going to get the whole check.
Yeah.
So listen, because I'm the type of person I am and I love people, I know I was doing wrong or whatever y'all want to call it. I'll be like, bro, how much you got left? He'd be like, well, I paid you. Shoot, I got to get my mama such and such, and she going to kick me out. And I owe them boys $200. I'll be like, look, man, I'll tell you what. Give me the $100 that you owe your mom. I'm gonna take that to her, make sure she get $100. And when we pull up in the hood, I'm gonna tell them boys that you owe me money so they won't jump on you. And it was just one of them things. I just learned that any game that you in, you can make plays and work it out.
Right.
And I even had some of them brothers like hit me, hey, big dog, man, that man owe me $300, bro. Man, please don't pick him up on Friday. let him be able to come to the hood so I can get my money.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, I'm going to have to jump on him again, and that ain't really doing nothing. So, it was just one of them things where you learned. So with the show itself, bro, it was just learning a lot of those lessons and bringing those lessons in to making a reality. A dude that was very heavy. He was very heavy in our era, because remember, it just started with these young 19, 20-year-old boys moving bricks. You know what I mean? Because it was brand new. Yeah. Like it was brand new to our culture. And they would just pay us to go back and forth from the store, go to the store. Yeah. You might get a $10 or $20 just for going to the store, buying them whatever they wanted. I was in the hood and I seen a SUV go by at that time. And it was back in the days. And I want to say that it was yellow jackets or whatever. From what I remember, it was either yellow jackets or black jackets with yellow writing or whatever. When they swung that block, them dudes I think one of them dudes just came home, and that was in 80-something. I think he just came home last year. When they hit them boys did all that time. So they went in the 80s and just got out in 222 with 2022.
That time.
Yeah, because they was rolling like that. But the thing is, I look at it like they lost their whole life.
Right.
And they coming out now trying to make it, but they lost their whole life. So just those experiences, those are the things that we're putting into Columbia so you actually see it.
Right.
Real shit. Right. Money, sex, drugs, and violence is always going to push television, so we know we had to come with it. We were thugging, so we weren't trying to make a message. We were just trying to do something raw. Even the name Columbia, like I was asleep one night, woke up, and it hit me like, let's do it.
That's what I was just about to ask you, how you came up with the name.
Well, I see you made amends with Patrick.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
What happened in that situation? The show Columbia came out, and again, I be getting dates and times mixed up. So I want to say it was maybe 3 months after the show was over.
She might not know.
Yeah.
I don't know if she know about it.
Maybe
Columbia, probably Devin Patrick.
Yeah, no doubt. It was another person that had it copyrighted.
Oh no, I didn't.
So we basically had the same idea. So when I put Columbia out, I think it was out for 3 months, and I got a call or a text from him saying, "Yo, I copyrighted the name back in '98," and I was like, I don't give a.
Yeah,
it was spelled the same exact way.
It was. I don't give a man. I don't care nothing about that. You know, like, and my team. Lunatics. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They don't go by that.
So they like, man, let's go get them then.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, just keeping it 1,000. Yeah. They wanted smoke just because. And I'm like, bro, how y'all want smoke because somebody did some business? Yeah. They did business. They copyrighted, like, you know what I mean? So how y'all mad? They didn't want to understand. They didn't care. Man, why he said anything? We could just take it and not. So when we first got on the phone, he was like, "Yeah, man, I copyright." I said, "Bro, I don't care nothing about that. I'm taking it."
Yeah.
So he was like, "I ain't call you for that."
Right.
He was like, "I didn't call you for that. I called you to say, yeah, I copyrighted it, but you got my blessings on using it." And he started throwing out some names or some people that I was rocking with.
And you was ready to talk shit.
Oh yeah, I was going in. I was ready to be like, "What?"
Business.
He was like, "Business." He was like, "No, I didn't call for that." I
know you was like, "Oh, damn."
Oh, my bad. So he started naming the people. Like he threw Mr. Flip name out there. He was like, "Man, I talked to Flip
Shout
about you."
Shout out to Flip.
Yeah, my boy.
He said, "I talked to Flip about you." And Flip said, "No, if he doing it,
it's a go.
You better let him do it because it's gonna be something." So he did, and I think like
the mayor spoke.
Yeah, I think it was like Natalie, a couple different other people. You know what I'm saying?
Natalie,
like just a
Shout
couple.
Shout out to Natalie. He take us back.
Yeah, he threw a few names out there, and it was like
that's an inside
they vouched
joke.
for you. You know what I'm saying? So they vouched for me, and he was cool. So we wasn't tripping. We got it done. You know what I mean?
You got a lot of avenues.
It's been ups and downs, and I never spoke on it. It's time to speak.
No cut.
Yeah, it's been ups. It's been ups
pop
and downs.
Your shit. It's time for you to pop your shit.
Yeah, because I know like I can imagine all the different stuff that you had to deal with, like with uploading your videos and stuff like that. So tell us about like all that shit you had to deal with YouTube.
Okay, so when it came to YouTube and came to the name Columbia and all that kind of stuff, it was flowing pretty smooth. But the problems I would have is anything associated with the word Columbia outside of me, Devin would send a cease and desist. So Swill rocking with me, and he know he rocking with me, so he go do a song called Columbia. He put the song up, it get flagged. Now when it get flagged, he think it's me,
right? Because
it looks like I own Columbia. You know what I mean? It looks like that.
Right.
I own the show. Well, I don't. You know what? Let me not say that. South Carolina owns that show. I don't own Columbia. We as a collective make that show work.
Okay.
And that's y'all allowing us to come in y'all hoods. That's if you seen us on the street in your neighborhood and you know you a thug and you ain't really like it, but you ain't give us no smoke because you wanted to see us shine.
That's what you call an OG mindset. Like that's dope.
I mean, because where I grew up at, you were not going to come in our neighborhood and film.
Right.
Period.
Right.
You know, we shoot. Oh yeah, we don't care nothing about that Columbia stuff. Matter of fact, we don't want y'all to come in our neighborhood because of that.
Yeah.
I had that kind of mentality. So to go in different places and experience the love, people can't tell me about South Carolina or Columbia because I know that we want to see people make it. It's up to you to reach back out and help people once you do make it. But we're gonna say that for something later down the road.
Right.
But back to the storyline itself. We were just pushing to do whatever we could do to make the thing exciting and get back to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we started just slowly grinding. And the more we started grinding, Devin would kind of like pull back off of that. So I'd be like, he'll start hitting me and be like, yo, this person, they got Columbia and they such and such. You cool with them? So it started being a conversation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Open conversation.
Right. So it was one of them transition things. So after that, we just started doing our thing, and it popped up. Devin Patrick Media turned into King Columbia, and Columbia this and Columbia that, and I'm like, bro, you copywrote the name back in 90 something, but you didn't.
You just sitting on.
You just sat on it. So now that
business.
Right. So now that I'm making it pop,
he received the residuals.
So at that point, it took me a second to realize it was only right, but my camp didn't understand that.
Right.
So it's smoke again.
Again, business.
Let's go get them.
It's smoke.
And I was like, man,
what you wanted to do?
Right. No, they was already. I had to be like, no, don't do what y'all want to do. Do what I'm. And these dudes, I love them because of the fact that they never. I mean, how we do it. You can get a little beat up or something. They want to do a little beat up or something, but nah, man. Because
did it ever get to anything physical?
Nah, never. Because at the end of the day, me and him came up with a resolve, and it was dope because he was like, "Look, I just want to do the posters and stuff for you guys. Okay. If I can do that, if I can do the posters and advertise my company through that, we Gucci. I ain't got an issue."
And see why I was finna get there, because I've when I research, I go on TikTok and all the stuff when I do people in avenues, and I go on algorithms. So I'm looking up the Columbia songs, and it has y'all poster for y'all series, even the new one for the new songs. It's up.
No
under
doubt.
him though, under him and the songs with Lil Broad Flip and all them stuff.
Right, no doubt.
And shout out to Broad too.
So we, at that point we just started putting it. Let's get into the filming aspect. So we started filming, and it just started looking good and feeling good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like some key situations. So OZ stepped away, and then it was basically me and Port T left to figure it out. Okay. Port T was like, bro, I know some fools that we need to bring aboard. And I was like, all right, cool. So that particular day, he brought to me TC. He brought to me TC. He brought to me Vic, which is Steve. He brought to me Lincoln. And I want to say Tall Vontae may have been around. These are characters that's in the show.
I remember the first show.
So he brought them guys to me, and I hate if I miss somebody else. But when they came to my house, because I'm old school. If we doing business, I brought them to the house. Man, these misfits came in. I just kept feeling the rob factor. I said, boy, you feel the brains and jokers in here to rob me. You know what I mean?
You felt set up?
Yeah, I was like, bro, I ain't rocking with these dudes at all. And then everybody got these red on and all this. I said, oh no, I'm from a different culture. But listen, that was just me prejudging. That's what taught me not to prejudge stuff. And it definitely was ignorance, because them dudes were the sweetest, smartest dudes that you ever could meet. When he brought me something, he brought me a super team.
Big shout out to Junior, man.
You know what I'm saying? He brought a super team. And one thing I can say about our camp, and I hope they feel the same way, it ain't nothing that I couldn't ask them to do that they wouldn't do. Because
that's super.
First of all, they know I got their back and their best interest at heart. But listen, we put the scenes together and everything was rocking. So I was like, bro, we need a little more violence. We got to kill somebody in this one. We call it Columbia, so we got to kill. Yeah. So we put that together, and a dude named Nelson, who was following the show, or following our movement, he reached out. We brought him in. He was like, okay, I died. Okay, cool. One of our model friends, LaToya Powell, I don't know if she go by that now, but she came out, and I was like, look, I got to bump you off. She was like, cool. Yeah. So we did that, and I was like, man, we got money, we got drugs. We got killing, but we got to have some sex. Right. So I was like, yo, find me somebody. And Steve reached out. I think it was Steve. He reached out to this lady, and she came aboard. Miss Ronay came aboard, and she did.
Which Ronay?
Ronay Monroe. Yeah. She came in. Ronay. She came in to play Ashley, and she just gave me, like, she was like, look, I can't be naked. You know what I mean? I don't want to be naked, but if you could figure out how to do it without being naked, I got you, because I want us to boom too.
Right.
So we created this scene where she came into the trap house.
Bring that chick now.
No doubt. She came into the scene, and it was a situation where one of the lead guys, he bent her over the table, Okay. So your thought process, you thought you were seeing.
It was an easy fake off.
Right. You thought you were seeing more than what you were actually seeing because you wasn't seeing nothing.
Right.
I showed like a little piece of a hip or whatever and put it together, but it just flowed. And the reason why it flowed because you could tell by just watching the show that you know what I'm saying, that these bloods? I can't figure it out. Mm-hmm. But she came out represent because she was.
I think she crip.
You know what I'm saying? She was doing her. Well, I don't get in all that. I might say the wrong thing, but
I think she crippled folk.
She came out ready, and her thing. She represented. So if you can imagine,
shout out to Ronay.
No doubt. If you can imagine them two together making this scene, and you know it's two different sets, but they It was like
magic. It's magic.
It was magic for the cinema world.
Right.
For the streets, it was like, dang, what
for people that really know them.
Yeah, because you know. That it go down like that. Yeah, you do your thing, but you know what happened at midnight.
Come on now.
Ain't nobody.
How many motherfuckers in the college?
It's a red.
From all those scenes that you had, from all those scenes that you shot, like, what are some of the scenes that like literally correlated to your life?
All of.
Pretty much. Some things get watered down. But I want to give you this scenario, right? It's a scene where Corey, and he's one of the main guys at the beginning of the show, Corey and Porti's character, Junior, they were on a bridge in West Columbia. They was on a bridge, and they were looking out at the city talking. And Corey asked him, he was like, bro, how do you feel about everybody in our city getting high off our product? Like, he said, bro, you look out at the city, bro, I know the whole city getting high off our dope this weekend. Yeah. Basically. And I was in the position, I actually lived that position. Okay. Because I don't do the dope stores. Right. But the only thing I could say is, like, them boys in Henley Homes made a killing. But it was 50 of them. You hear me? It was 50 of them in one area. If anybody who know them days, remember how it was 50 of them in one spot. So they had to share that money. Yeah. I grew up in the country where it wasn't 50 people. There was only 3 of us. It wasn't as much traffic, but you got to understand what I'm saying. The money came different. It do. So shout out to them areas because once again, everybody got it, but everybody, store is different. So what I'm basically saying is, I got to say it because we uncut. And
no cut.
Make a long story short, if I put 2 bricks out on a Friday night, I hit every one of them neighborhoods to break them off a few ounces or whatever. That's it. And if I hit 48, well, you ain't really go down 48. You couldn't go down there. So I'm gonna be honest about that. You couldn't. Yeah. You wasn't going. So I can't even mention that. Shit. Yeah, I can't even mention that.
A lot of my family from 48.
You couldn't go to 48. So every area besides 48, I done put so much out there. Shit. The truth is, by Monday, everybody did get high off my product. Right. And the funny part is, if you was a big dog and I was at the club and you was like, man, what's up, bro? How you rocking? I said, how you rocking? Right. They hand me a little bag. I look at it and I smile because I know it's mine. Yeah. Right. I used to do that all the time. No matter what hood I went to, I'd be like, bro, let me see what y'all working with. Oh yeah. That be right there. I don't even say that. Anybody who know. Yeah. Like even when things, you can't get a game up back then and understand that they know they know. If you know, you know. Because you done did that. Yeah, you ain't got time to prove it. If you made a certain account, if you moved a certain kind of way, then you were egotistical. You had to be a little bit because
because you wanted to get that credit.
You tell a nigga that, man, you ain't did this. Right.
Yeah. It ain't even. So the boys who out there now, you know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. And to give an example now,
big shout to them niggas.
When y'all pushing and doing what y'all doing with that green, you know how I feel because you know what yours. You know what yours is.
But we smoke. Boy, listen.
But you over here, you live on a certain side of town. You do your dirt over there, but you go over here and you see yours. It's a dope feeling. When the girls be like, this what we got over here. Let me.
We smoking on. This
we smoking on tonight. We finna have that, and they hand it to you. You look at it. You like,
oh yeah,
baby. That's all right. That's
it.
Yeah, you got some.
But she on. Yeah, that shit. They are.
That's it. But they smoking that $400 bag. But that's our coming in. You know what I'm saying? You move that. You don't press on that. But see, that's because you've been in the game a long time and humbleness showed you a route. So that's why you elevated the way you do into the game of shooting videos to from like music videos to movies. and serious.
No doubt.
So it's been so much hate in the city. So many motherfuckers that didn't want to see you win. So many motherfuckers that talked down on it. And y'all kept going. Y'all kept building. Elaborate on, you know what I'm saying, right now, because there's so many people that wanted to see you down, wanted to see you up. What hindered you where to the point where it motivated you to do better?
All right, so the first thing again was that Devin situation. It was, I played it off smooth, but I hated it. Right. You know what I mean? I hated it, but I had already pushed the product. So the streets know Columbia. I didn't want to just rebrand it. And matter of fact, Junior, man, he believed in it so much that he went and got Columbia tattooed across his stomach. Like I thought, I was like, bro, you crazy.
That was what you call real dedication.
Listen, it's his beliefs.
Nah, it was because he understood what we had and he believed in it. Right. And the thing was, when he was doing it, it made me really go crazy. It made me go crazy. Yeah. Because I was like
crazy as an aspect of hustling to build Columbia bigger. Or to the crazy point where it's like, damn, well, this shit is just going up. Like,
I die for this.
Yeah.
I die for this.
Yeah, perfectly.
My dog dedicated his life to me.
Yeah. But just to think that say that he would die for this, but think about all the people that he put on, or people tend. Like, for some reason, a lot of people in Columbia, you might put them on in some kind of way, and then they might go on and be so much greater, and then forget about the people that really put them on and don't even give them credit. Have you gone through that with any of your cast members?
Yeah, I do. I deal with that. I deal with it. I've witnessed artists get to a certain level. I'm gonna say names because I just got to do it that way.
No cut.
I rock with a lot of people that's doing big things. Yeah. And as far as like artists, I rock with Zach. I rock with Rennie.
Big shout out to Zach.
I rock with
Cusco. Rennie, Zach.
I rock with Cusco. I rock with Nation. As far as, on the production side,
those are names that's making that news right now. And I remember you helping him and putting them in the platform.
Oh yeah. Even with with those situations, like I've been rocking with Zach since the beginning. Now I'm gonna say this, and people don't like it, or they can feel how they want to feel. I don't really care.
No cut.
But I met him around the same time I met y'all, and I fell in love with the dude.
Damn right.
And I don't like no homo or whatever. They can say what they want to say. I fell in love with him because I seen the drive.
Oh yeah, he had the hustle.
I seen the drive, and my camp. Even when I tell this story, they get on my neck, and everybody else do. But I saw the drive that him and Beezy had.
Yeah,
Beezy really believed in him, and they pushed, and I seen them come from nothing to something.
They keep going.
You know what I'm saying? The one thing that I can say, and even with the new season, when they reached out, it wasn't nothing but a word. Beezy hit me. And Beezy was like, "Bruh, we need what do you call him? He called him something else." But he was like, "We need black in the show." And I was like, "Who the hell is black?" I called him Zach. He was like, "We need black." I had to think about, okay, cool. Yeah. He was like, "Let's go." I snapped my fingers and got it done. Now listen, they Zach rolled a different kind of way, but I had to go to a bunch of Bloods and say, "Look here, hey, we bringing Big Dog in. It's my dog. He coming in." Right. And they was like, let's do it." Yeah. Man, listen, we rented a van. We brought him in with style. He pulled up, jumped out. They gave money. He went in and got juried up, bought a car, and all these things in the show. And it's just, to me, it's always family. And I look at it like
that's on the right. Because see, when me and you started coming up, Zach came behind us. I watched Zach from a real mirror to come up, and I watched you lending a hand to help him where he is. So to hear that story and him to come up and do it, man, that's love. That's a real nigga shit.
Yeah, that's dope.
So
you can't buy that shit.
When people ask me about bruh, it's like I consider all y'all family. He another family member. So what kind of strife can I have? It's like, it's certain things like I see interviews and stuff like that where they'll ask, have you ever acted and stuff like that. I know a lot of things they can't talk about or say, but I would just, the beef that I would ever say is I would like a piggyback sometimes. Yeah. Mention Columbia when y'all in a platform.
Well, let me give you your flowers while you're here.
I appreciate that.
Big OG. You know what I'm saying? Understand that I watch you grind a long time. I watch you feed a lot of people. I watch you put a lot of people on the platform.
No doubt. No, I appreciate
you deserve your flowers. You know
I appreciate
Why you throwing pins at people, Sweet?
Okay. Yeah, I ain't know that pin was there. I couldn't see that more.
It's okay.
But let me finish my flowers shit.
Yes,
I don't know if they roses or whatever, tulips, whatever you deserve. You deserve them all.
I like roses too.
Man, bring all that shit. Okay. Bring all that. But at the same time, like big dog, like you deserve those flowers and the respect. You're in the front runner of the OG status in the city.
No doubt.
So from me to you, I know it, and as a family, we don't look at it as we other people because when we reach out, it's genuine love. We don't got to be up on each other 24/7 every motherfucking day, or understanding that somebody else we can get in the venue and all us in the venue together, but we know what the love and where we come from.
That's right.
So
That's
I watch your grind, I watch everything you do, and I praise that.
No doubt.
Yeah,
and I appreciate that, bro.
That's most definitely.
I mean, for the little bit that I've been able to speak with you, like, and talk with you even before we came on, it's like. It's dope that you have the mentality to really like, people throw the word, the lingo OG around. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really is a real OG because he really care about pulling these people together and making something happen and putting people in his place on a platform to where we can become something bigger. It's dope. And I even heard about, like, somebody in your cast, whether they killed themselves and they killed their wife or a girlfriend or something like that.
Yeah, no doubt. With everything that you do, you go through ups and downs, right?
Right.
And I was gonna get to that, and I'm glad you brought it up because it needed to be spoke on.
Okay.
One of my inspirations for the show was 3. This guy named 3. I met him because he was one of the dudes that Steve brought to the show, Vic brought to the show, and he was like, "We finna pull up on my man in Hollywood Hills," and again, not Hollywood Hills in Lincolnshire, and I was like, they don't know my stomping ground, so I never talk about it. So when they pulled me up to a spot that I've been in and did, my world was in this kind of, so when I pulled up, I just kind of laid back, but I felt comfortable.
Okay.
And when I met 3, he had a broke hand, man. His hand was swole, like a baseball mitt. And he was like, man, I just got through fighting at the club last night, broke my hand. So, man, my bad, because I didn't want to be in the scene with my hand all swole. I was like, bro, that's real. Just make sure you mention the fact that you broke your hand fighting in the club when I say action. So a lot of people don't. When you finally see us film, then you'll understand how we do it and understand why it feels so gritty. I don't want to get that sauce away.
Right.
But I just put you in the mindset because I'm already dealing with the people that are this. Right. They might not have been my level to a certain extent, but they level where they at. So if I tell him, like, hey, bro, in this scene, your partner just got out of jail. You ain't seen him in a long time and you love him. So give him that tough love, but he embraced it. Some people I gotta kind of say what over and over, repeat the lines. You know how it is when you get a rapper in there and they might be dope, but it take them forever to lay the verse. Yeah, and you be like, bro, everybody think you so talented. Right. The final product, it make them look talented, but when you record it, you like, yeah. Hey, can you punch me again?
Yeah.
Can you punch me again?
Next week,
man, I gotta come back. Man, bro, can you come back when you know your verse? That filming is the same way. So with 3, man. And I love, when I say I love these dudes, bro, it's family love. It's deeper than that. Like, I love God and I love my family, and these people are my family. I love them like that. Like, I raise my children. I trade places with these dudes. Yeah. If somebody said you gotta go, I go. It ain't no second thought. And I hope they feel the same way about me, but it really don't even matter because it is what it is.
Right. It's just your heart.
But with 3. And if I tear up, it is what it is. I live
right.
And
no cut.
With 3, he was my inspiration. Because when I met him, I was like, I didn't know the other guys, but once I was around them, I felt like these good guys trapped in a bad world. Right. I met a bad guy trapped in a bad world. You understand what I'm saying?
I get it. I knew him.
So when I met him, it was nothing but love instantly. You know what I'm saying? So when we finished filming, he was like, big dog, ain't nobody ever gave me this chance. Now this is a street dude. Right. This joker, a tear fell. Right. And he just wiped it up real quick. He was like, bro, ain't nobody ever did nothing like this for me. He said, bro, I just appreciate you.
That's it.
I appreciate you. And when he said that put the battery in my back. So
that put a golden heart.
So with Columbia, me going hard is because I always knew I could lean on 3. Right. When I got to do something wild, I know he gonna come with the wild scene. 3 and Dirt. His 3 was selling pee. Yeah. He was selling clean pee. Come on, man. We know in the hood it go down, but you ain't never seen that.
Look here.
That man was selling clean. Right. That man was selling clean pee. You know what I'm saying? Ahead of time. Yeah. Get little kids peeing in the tube for him, and then So
they gotta get that job.
Even with a robbery scenario that we put together where he got set up by this setup chick, he was okay with being vulnerable. Okay, you know what I mean? And the street stuff aside, because if he did terrible stuff to you or whatever, I'm sorry for that. You know what I mean? But that's not the guy who I met.
Right.
And I'm standing on that too.
All right.
If you still got issues with that, that's on you. Man. You know what I mean? One day you'll forgive him or whatever, but with the guy that I met, this was a guy that was determined to see us there. So he would call in the morning and say, "Bro, what you doing?
Right.
Get up, fat boy. Get up, fat. Cause you call me fat boy. Fat boy, get up and do some work. Go find something to do." So he was my motivation, and his street life, it caught up with him. You know what I mean? It caught up with him, and what I mean by that is I don't know the ins and outs and the particulars. And salute to his family, his mom, because they know how I feel about him, because we went through something traumatic. His street life kind of caught up with him. We were filming one night, and it's just one of the craziest things that you ever could imagine. We were filming and on set, and we heard a gun pop. I had prop guns all over the place, so I'm like, man, why y'all here playing with these prop guns?
Right.
And I smelled the gunpowder because they still put out the same smell as a gun. So when I looked over at him, he had this weird look on his face. Then I looked down at what possibly transpired, and I realized he shot somebody on accident.
Right.
He literally took the gun and put it in his mouth. Cause he was gonna blow his head off.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to see it. I said, bro, don't do that in front of everybody. They can't live with this.
Right.
They won't be able to recover from seeing this. Don't do it. I walked outside and I grabbed Steve, because that was the dude who brought him to me. And I said, bro, he's finna go and kill himself. Please don't let him do that in front of everybody.
Right.
You know, so we dealt with that. You know what I mean? We dealt with that situation. He went to court. He went to jail. He did whatever he had to do. At the end of the day, they just wanted to know it was an accident. It was an accident. It wasn't related to the show, because it was an accident that he did, and that was what kept us out of legal ramifications, because it was not anything that had to do with us. We had everything that we were supposed to have covered. Right. The live weapon being on set was his choice to use his weapon.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it was supposed to be empty. I won't get into why it wasn't, but it was a grave mistake.
Right.
Because we always, even at this time, we don't use live guns. We buy props. We got some good ones, and we use them because at the end of the day, we had a process. If we met you, just met you, and you came aboard, you was like, I want to film tonight. If you was like, I want to use my own gun, I looked at it, I cleared it. Right. You cleared it, then you handed it to me. I cleared it. Then Dirt cleared it. We hand it back to you. But if you drop a bullet on the ground accidentally, and by habit pick it up and put it back in the clip, of course it's immediate smoke. Because they don't know what happened. Man, look, I don't even want to hear what happened. Y'all, my family member ain't here no more. Right. And we had to deal with the going back and forth in court with them going crazy. We had one scenario where it was a brawl pretty much at the courthouse. You know, when we go down there, we had to let them know so they can bring extra this or that. And we were thugging, but I got to tell all these thugs, don't react.
Right.
I got to tell Dirt, I got to tell Chino, bro, they talking, bro, let it go.
Right.
They want to meet it, but I understand they want to meet it because they from a different environment than I'm from. You know, so we dealt with that, and ultimately we got forgiven by his family. You know, it's still business,
right?
But we got forgiven because they just wanted to know that it wasn't a murder,
right?
You know what I mean? And it was just one of the things that we had to get through. We didn't talk about, like, we didn't push the show around this. So the way it got out is just by people talking, or you know, because we never talked about it. And even with three, he got through it. He was able to finally make bond and move on with his life. The man got a job working at I want to say it was FedEx, but you know, this dude got tattoos in his face, you know, all over his face. And this was at the time where it was still fairly new. But FedEx took the time. He had the charisma that they hired him. And this joker used to be going live, delivering packages in their van. If he see the brown guys, he riding on them.
Yeah.
Man, hey man, look here. Boy, y'all better stay off my block. Y'all know what it is. Like, he was just he would have been famous just off of that because
his energy.
He was riding on them. If he see anybody, the regular mailman, he had smoke with him. Y'all get off my block. Y'all know what we doing over here with this blue and white, and orange.
That is hilarious.
So with that, man, it was just drive. So and that night before it happened, we were at a wing place on Beltline, right? And we were just getting approached by people. And that's one of the beautiful things. Like people were just like, "Hey man, out Columbia, man," and you know. So we were sitting there in the wing spot, and he was sitting behind me, and he was leaning like I was sitting on a chair, but the way we were sitting, he was leaning like we literally was holding each other up. His back was holding me up,
right?
And he leaned back, and he was like, "Fat boy, you see what we done created?" This was before that happened.
Right.
He said, "You see what we created?" He was like, "Bro, thank you. I love you, bro." Street stuff, in the street world, if you got a dude that's real crazy, you know that it's one statement that they always make. Boy, if anybody ever do anything to you.
Yeah.
So he had said that to me, man. And
I got you.
Right. And he said, "Boy, you ain't even got it. Well, I'm right now. If anybody say anything right now." So it is crazy because it's poetic.
Yeah.
And for you if you was in the streets and you ever had, I don't care if it was a crackhead, they ever said it was powerful because they meant that.
Them conversations, right. I definitely know those.
You know them, boy. If somebody said something to you, boy, you trying to make it, boy, you know.
And you got to do nothing. I got you.
So he with that being said, the street stuff started catching up to him because I don't know a lot about his street stuff. I try to block out a lot of that stuff. I hear little things here and there, but I just know he was wild. He was doing this thing.
But his heart was genuine for you though.
Right. And the thing about him was all the sets. I don't know if it was fear, because it could be. Fear is something, you know, it's a certain kind of fear out there, but all the sets rock with him.
Right.
And it was like how, like his spot where they were doing their thing at, it's like multiple different sets. And then I'm coming in here with all these bloods and we doing our thing, and it was never nothing but love.
Right.
I just know the handshakes was different.
Right.
I'm like, I know them two shake like that. This person shake like that.
Yeah.
When they shake over there, they do that. I used to just mess with them. When they shake my hand, I used to be like, do me like y'all be doing, you know, just trying to, you know, be a part of the, you know, whatever culture. But with my man, and I'm going along with this because it means a lot to what we've been doing, and you can understand what's going on. Yeah. The street life caught up to him. Okay. You know, one night he was at his sister's house, and I'm gonna say what I know, and because I want people to know that's my brother and I love him. You know what I mean? And I don't want them to get it twisted. He was just sleeping on the couch, being himself, knocked out, probably snoring.
But
it's something transpired in the back room between her and her boyfriend, or her and her boyfriend. Something transpired back there. 3 woke up to the sound of gunshots. Not knowing what actually happened in that room, but I think his sister was murdered in that room. I think.
Right.
That's not my, you know.
Right.
But the guy who did it knew who was sleeping on that couch.
Right.
So he knew he had to take it there.
He had to.
So he took it there. And he paralyzed 3.
I remember.
He shot him a few times. He paralyzed them in that living room. This is something that I can only speak from what he told me. And this was him telling me in the hospital bed. He said, bro, if I wasn't me, my sister would still be here. Dude probably did something stupid, like slapped her or something like that. Maybe. You can only guesstimate.
But he knew
and
what
she said, I'm going to tell my brother. My brother, that he know who's sleeping on that couch. He took it there. And 3, he felt some kind of way about that. And he carried that.
Right.
You know, he carried that weight.
It was a burden on him.
And he carried it. When he was in the hospital, intensive care, like we had to go to these different codes and stuff to see him, and thank God they would allow me to see him. You know what I mean? And I had to see him lay there for days, swollen, because of the many bullet holes. You know, he's swollen, and he just laying there like, bro, tell me where my sister at. Because the doctor said don't tell him because it'll probably kill him. Right. So we couldn't tell him that his sister wasn't there anymore. And he like, bro, man, just tell me where my sister at, bro. I know, I think, but just tell me so I can deal with it. I wouldn't tell him. You know what I mean? And so he had to deal with that. And the next part was the transition to coming home.
In a wheelchair.
You talking about like I'm a beast. I feel like I can run through a wall, and he was way more wild than me.
Right.
Imagine
he was
him
always mobile.
Imagine him not being able to move like he wanted to move, and he was just
that depression really hit hard.
So when I used to see him, it was a big bottle of Hennessy and a big pistol, because he did dirt, and he had to be prepared if the dirt came back. No matter bro, I'm in a wheelchair. You think them fools ain't gonna try to get me now?
Yeah,
that was his mentality. I'm finna be ready. You come around me with all that positive talk you want, but I'm still gonna be ready. I never liked it because I knew the level of depression had to be extreme, and I got definitely a history in mental health as far as working for the Department of Mental Health and stuff like that. I knew that he was in a bad place, and I was just hoping that with the show, because what I was trying to do with the show, honestly, was make enough money to buy him some new legs.
Right.
I knew I could never make him walk again,
but
what I meant by that is to provide enough money where he didn't have to worry about being that way.
Right.
If he wanted to hire somebody to carry him around, he could have the money to do it. So that was what my focus was. It went away from me, because at the time I was working 2 full-time jobs making good money anyway. Careers.
Yeah.
So I didn't need money from Columbia. I was straight. But I needed to get there to help him. So my love for it went to, I got to get these M's and big M's.
Right.
You know what I mean? So make a long story short, he would deal with different women or whatever, and he broke up with the person that he was with, because I know he was being kind of mean because he was going through what he was going through. And he moved back in or started living with one of his exes or whatever. Something transpired with them, and it was a horrifying day. It was, I don't know anything about it. If I did, I wouldn't talk about it probably anyway, but the only thing I know is that I got a call saying, bro, 3 shot himself. I was like, anybody who know, if you live that Pac era, then you heard about Pac and you know he got shot.
Yeah. You be like,
nah. You knew he got shot, but you was like, bro, let me go see him.
Back.
Let me go see him.
Yeah.
And they was like, nah, he shot himself. And it broke my heart. It broke my heart because I loved him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just as much as I love my children and I had them, they came from me. I loved him like that. And to lose him, it just shattered my world. I had to be strong around my people, but we just went to court. And after he got shot by that guy, he got shot again by some beef. So he got shot, paralyzed.
Then shot
and then a dude, you know how they watch your low? He dropped his low. Dude came through bus and hit him again. So this time, with the next shot, he got hit with an AK-47 round in his predominant hand, in his hand. When he got hit, he no longer had the power to use that hand.
Because he was right hand.
It wasn't no strength in it. So he could move his arm and move around, but he couldn't grasp it. So now you got to remember, now I'm in a wheelchair. I only got one arm now. What can you do with one arm? You can't even wipe with one arm because you got to hold on something to bend over.
Right.
And you can't hold the other cheek open because you got that arm just keeping it 1,000.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you went. How you gonna push a wheelchair? You got one arm. You going around in a circle.
Right.
He was totally stripped of being able to be a man. Totally.
Did you have a conversation with him after that?
Constantly, but they wasn't real conversations, because if they was real conversations, he'd still be here.
Right.
He had already made his plan up, and anybody who know that when people take it there, they already made their plan up.
Right.
So I was talking to him. I was talking to him a few days before he did it, and he said, "Paul, when he got paralyzed, I wasn't showing it in the show. I was putting him in situations where he was sitting up or he wasn't in his wheelchair, so you didn't even know."
Right.
And he said he had this thing about fakeness. He's like, I ain't gonna ever be fake. I'm tired of being fake.
Yeah.
I want these people to know. So we created a scene where he got stabbed, and that was supposed to be how he got paralyzed.
Okay.
So we were talking about the future and what we had coming up, and he did it during that process. And he was telling me everything I needed to know during that time. He was saying bye to me, but I didn't pay attention to none of the stuff that he was saying.
You didn't pay attention to the signs.
So with him taking with him taking somebody else with him, I hate that. And I hate that he did that. You know what I mean? And my thing is, he should have been alone.
Right.
He should have been alone in the process, and he shouldn't have had. I don't care. People try to say it was him or she. It don't matter. She didn't deserve that.
Right.
And I love him to death. I love his family, and I don't know her people. You know, I probably do, but I don't. Right. You know how we know everybody.
Right.
I don't know her people, but I want to say from us, we're definitely, you know, sorry. You know what I'm saying about that, and hoping that, you know, they definitely okay with the fact that she's resting in peace. If I could trade my life for hers, I would, and I don't say that lightly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It come real genuine from your heart.
Yeah. So with that being said, y'all got to know where I went. I went down a spiral. Right. So I'm with my team, and they still trying to push.
Yeah.
Man, I create people to kill. You know, I create people wanting to kill themselves. I create people getting shot. I don't want to. So it was a long spiraling road for me.
Start beating on yourself.
So I started going back to church. My mom always told me I didn't grow up in the church.
Right.
But me and God always had this special relationship, right? And I didn't even know, you know, keeping them bullets from hitting me in shootouts and keeping my bullet from hitting people in shootouts. You know, I started going to church because I wanted to know why I was blessed and so much was going on, but I always get away with it. My partner got 30 years. Why I didn't go? Right. This person did this, and you know, so when I went to church, I started paying attention to what they were talking about, and I got close with the pastor of my church, and I asked him, I said, bro, I need to talk to you, man. And he was like, what's up? I said, man, I filmed this show. And he said, what show? I told him the name, and I left it there, and I said, man, I want to know, am I doing bad for our community because it's hood? He said, man, listen, do you know who Jesus was and what Jesus was? I was like, nah. He said, well, name the worst hood in where you ever been in. He said, that's what Jesus was. He said, all Jesus' partners was dope boys. And he said, you got to remember, it was that world. He said, bro, nah. He said, what are you doing? He said, you actually going in the hood and giving these dudes something else to do besides kill each other. They imitating it.
Facts.
He said to other people, they won't be able to understand it, but he said, as long as you're doing it from your heart, he said, the last thing he said was, as a matter of fact, I can't judge nothing you talking about. He said, what did God tell you? And I prayed about it always, and I prayed to God, and what God said was, do what you need to do to get that money to take care of my people. And that's what he always said.
And not only that, people automatically say, oh, you're putting this negative thought out there, but in all honesty, we have to show how we have to survive out here in our condition. We can't help it. If this is what we've been conditioned around, how else are we going to find ways to take care of our families? So whether or not they think that he's putting out something negative, no. He's telling stories that people have to live through every day just to survive for their family. So they have to understand that it's not glorifying it, it's understanding so you can know where it came from and why it's happening. So that's dope that you created that platform. That's real dope. And it's dope because we know that you working on that second one that's about to come out.
Right now we're doing we're working on season 4, right? So with that being said, the older you get, you realize it is some responsibility. Now we always got to turn up because we just enjoy that. When Luke, I can't speak for this generation, but when Luke come on in our generation, if Luke come on, your mama her body gonna start moving.
Can't help it.
And Luke come on and you know, your mom in the kitchen cooking Thanksgiving dinner. No, your grandma, I'm sorry. Not mama. Your grandma hear that Luke, she gonna start doing something different. Yeah. So my point is, it's like I don't look at it that way anymore, and I try to not look at it. So going into the future of the show, I'm gonna continue to entertain. When you look at the different shows that are out now, and if you didn't know, our show was almost 60 million views. That is a lot of views. It's not something to play with. I don't know about buying nothing. So
especially out of South Carolina.
You know, so that's so many views that it was a regular syndicated show. We just didn't know that. We just knew it had a lot of views and we was smoking hot, right? So we didn't look at how it touched people I don't like web series, right? So I just couldn't get into them. Even with Columbia, like I couldn't tell you, I probably would watch it if I wasn't associated with it. So to see where we stretch across the world, it's just phenomenal. So with this new season, you know, when you get a bigger audience, you still keep it the way you kept it, the rawness, but you got to give them something. And this time we putting some meat on the bone. It's gonna be the thugging, but it's gonna be thugging with a meaning.
Yeah, right.
So to give a springboard of how the new season coming in, the guys are still themselves, but Dirt pulls a robbery on a group of guys that got a stash spot, got a dope hole near to one of their spots. When he robs them, he does it on a bike, you know, so he can get in and get out. But as he's leaving to jump in the car and get away, he left the bike laying on the side of the road. A young kid, a high school kid, gets the bike and starts, you know, riding. Yeah. He had to be somewhere anyway. He got him a bike, so he good. But the guys he robbed runs down on the kid and they kill him. When they kill him, it changes the city because Dirt has to deal with the fact that if I wouldn't have did that, he'd still be alive.
Right.
Them dudes got to deal with the fact that they killed somebody that wasn't who it was supposed to be. That the community has to deal with that death. So within Columbia, we're going to do the community thing. And this is the first time I said this. Even a lot of people in the show don't know this. Dirt knows and a few people, Cash know, but we're actually going to bring out real survivors of gun violence, the families. Okay. So we're going to start doing rallies and recording the rallies within Columbia to give these people a stand. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see the teddy bears and stuff like that on the ground and things like that, but it'd be different if we do a rally within the show and we dedicate 10 minutes of the show to these parents standing up and literally talking about their real child that died, and we're going to actually film it and put it in the show. That's dope. It's all about just thinking abstract, you know, and trying to come up with something that you've never seen before. Right. And this ain't exploiting this. I probably hope that I never get asked, am I exploiting dead people? Because you probably get your teeth knocked out or something like that. But when it comes to what we're doing to give back to people that we could possibly never give back to. Right. You know, you know, it's just gonna be a different vibe and a whole different scenario. So we still gonna be wilding. It's still gonna be money, drugs, sex, violence, all that stuff to keep good television. But the message is gonna be living strong within our community. And because I know kind of like how things work, I know it's gonna be big and it's gonna create real situations and real platforms. Because we're going to bring characters in to even come sit in your podcast. It may be filmed for Columbia, but it'll be a real podcast that's really dedicated to this guy losing his life. Right. So it's a lot of work that we got coming up. The actual season itself, each season we do something different to try to elevate. So this time we've actually went in and worked on our sound. So now we got sound equipment. Everything was coming pretty much straight out of the camera the first 2 seasons. Then the next season we were just using a recorder, but it was pulling in all the sounds from in the room. Now we're kind of isolating the recording through the boom mics that they use for movies. When I get greater with time. When I say the boom mics that they record for movies, I don't mean the process. I mean the actual mics that they, you know, we spend a little grip to get to the next level. Oh, y'all Hollywood. Yeah, we going Hollywood. Yeah. That's what we going there with.
Tyler Perry Studios.
Right. So when you see us out filming now, it's real full-fledged production. It ain't, it ain't just, we ain't just having fun. We having fun and producing something real.
Right. Likewise. So then not only that, you giving a message, man, and you giving back to the community and people that, mothers and families that had that gun violence, man, I think is really, you know what I'm saying, it's really something that you'll give them a platform to really speak on. Some might not want to speak on it, some might will. And you know, but it's just that you giving the opportunity to give them some realness, some real genuine energy. So that's dope.
Yeah. So you know, that's just one of the things that we want to do, and it's just helping our community because you never know what's going to come out of it. Somebody could be in a real bad state of depression because they lost their child. Right. And this right here might give them a platform to be able to come outside that shell, to come meet other people that dealt with that.
Right.
You could say, well,
that probably could help them cope.
Right.
With it.
Ain't that what y'all talking about now? These guys are actors acting in a show.
Right.
And if you do something wrong to them in the show, you're gonna get dealt with. But it's the show. We don't say that when we watch the Terminators and all these movies where everybody getting blown off the star killed 70 people.
Right.
This show is entertainment. Period. Yeah. It's not real. It's a show that's based around entertainment and some real things.
We need that.
I do want to say this. We've been around for 5 years, maybe longer. That's about right. We've been around for 6 years. It's a lot of shows that have come out since our show.
And faded.
It's a lot of major shows on major platforms that steal from us constantly because of the fact we didn't make it yet.
Right.
We at a certain level, but they're on a past level. It's shows that's actually dedicated around strip clubs and the strip club life, and they wasn't there before us.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we gave that passion. 60-something million views lets you know we were being watched.
Right.
So, with that being said, I never looked at anything local, I don't care what state it was, as competition. Our competition has always been Power, Snowfall. Now we got P Valley. That's competition for us. So with us having that kind of arena, even BMF with us having that kind of arena, we step out. We definitely don't have the budget that they got.
Right.
But we got brains, and we can create. You know what I'm saying? Using these brains, so we're gonna use our creative tools to just continue to give you the best possible show that you can have and entertain you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely, man. So let's go ahead and give everybody where they can reach you on every platform. Anything else you want to say? Anybody want to give shout outs to? Also, Team Cast, anybody going on where they can reach you at, where, you know what I'm saying, they can research. Matter of fact, when this season 4 drop, where they gonna be able to find it at?
Right.
Because we're gonna cut that P Valley shit. We're gonna go ahead and go straight Columbia.
And that's
right.
on Bing 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 today.
Right now, we working on the platform. To be honest with you, we got a YouTube. We got 2 YouTube pages set up. I'm not gonna give information on those yet.
All right.
Okay.
But we'll have it at no cut as soon as it drops.
Yeah, no doubt. Not gonna get information because we're trying to figure out what platform to hit without getting banned.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we have to follow the rules. We don't. We do have a platform, BWN, this Big Wheels Network. That's always a platform that you can find it on, but you actually have to go to the website, and it's subscription based.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't want to do that.
Right.
So I'm still trying to bring it back to where it could be free or close to being free as possible. Patreon is one that I think is pretty cool. We were even going to do OnlyFans, but we can only put it up in so many. I think it's like 15 minutes tops or something like that. So we would have to keep breaking it down. We're just trying to figure out what platform to put it on where we don't have to worry about being banned. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want to, stop doing the content that we doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you watch them other shows, they so wild right now doing anything. It's like I don't want to limit us. You know what I mean? To say. So as far as social media, you can just right now we're kind of like in the rebuilding phase of that because we're using KUSA as the moniker now. Mm-hmm. Columbia it'll forever be Columbia, but we're using KUSA to kind of KUSA to get away from having to worry about the ups and downs with Devin or anybody else associated with Columbia.
Okay.
So with that being said, I don't want to push the social medias out yet. You can find me and all the rest of the cast members on Instagram at Columbia somebody. Okay. So if it's Columbia Dirt or Columbia whoever, Lincoln, Columbia Ashley, Columbia Steve, whoever, most of us you can find us by Columbia or somebody. Okay. You find one person, you'll find everybody else.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you, first of all, to God for covering all of us, period. Mm-hmm. I want to say thank you to my mother, my sister, who, she's no longer here. To 3, I want to say thank you to all the cast members. Mm. You know what I mean? All my mentors that I ever had in life. Thank you to them. Thank you to South Carolina and thank you to the neighborhoods and stuff that show us love when we come out. Thank you to the officers that even arrested some of us on set that didn't kill any of us, that just did their jobs. Thank you to the officers that pull up and see that we filming and say, hey, oh, that's Columbia. Oh, we rolling. They don't even bother us. Shout out to everybody that wants to see us make it, even the ones that don't. Shout out to y'all too, and hopefully whatever you're doing, you succeed in it. Keep pushing. Shout out to Rennie, shout out to Zach, shout out to all them rappers that's trying to make it and get to the next level. You know, do what y'all do to get to the next level. Shout out to all the independent artists. Shout out to the people that's pushing that music. Shout out to Juice. Shout out to Nation. Shout out to everybody that's doing something. And definitely all the platforms like your platform that's letting us come on to be heard. I know I was long-winded, but some people might want to watch this. You know
man, get it out.
For real.
No doubt.
Get it out. Big shout out to you, man. Big shout out to the whole team. Columbia, USA, man. Big shout out to our whole team. No Kutt, Mirror, LB, CEO. Most and definitely big shout out to Big PA, man, the game giver, man.
No doubt.
I shoot videos, man, Columbia, man, the whole network, man. What we doing is for the whole state.
No doubt.
It was an honor, actually. This was a really dope interview. I really enjoyed it.
And take that game in, get it in, and put it on No Kutt.
The streets can't live long, no Kutt zone, put the city on. They got me in my zone. The streets can't live long, no Kutt zone, put the city on. They got me in my zone. The streets can't live long, what you want? No Kutt zone, put the city on. They got me in my zone. The streets can't live long,